Hey guys, it's 10 Viv Man here again, bringing you another match. This is a mixed tier match I had of a good friend of mine, and it's, I believe, I'm using a team of 3 RUs, 2 NUs, and 1 UU, and I think he has a very similar structure, but he has 2 electrical mice on that team. He's using a kind of a theme team, which I believe he said was based off a Vocaloid theme team, which I'm not too familiar with, but it's bound to be an interesting match, so let's see how this goes. He's going to lead off of a Vanilluxe, as I lead off of my standard lead in this situation would be my Galvantula to get that switch initiative going, a Volt Switch and such. But the Vanilluxe goes first, which kind of surprised me, which means he's probably a Scarfed variant, but he locks himself into the light screen just to get that up early on. So I just go for the Volt Switch, just get some damage onto it. And after the light screen, that Volt Switch, even though I'm a light forward Galvantula, it doesn't do much at all. So, of course, Volt Switch being the electrical type U-turn, I'm going to switch out and go into my Typhlosion. And of course, as most people know, Typhlosion is my absolute favorite Pokemon, and it just does some work in this match. We'll just go with that. But he switches out and goes into his Pidgeot, which I don't see much, but I go for that. I'm a Choice Scarf Typhlosion. I go for that powerful Stab Eruption with max HP. And that actually does a surprisingly low amount. Even without the light screen, I would not have killed it, which doesn't overly surprise me since I'm a timid Typhlosion in addition to it. So, but I don't want to take anything that Pidgeot has to offer. So I switch out into my Golem, expecting I don't know what to expect. But he goes for a Tailwind, which instantly puts the spark into this mind that it's a supporting Pidgeot, and then it's even more revealed once the leftovers are given. So I don't know what else to expect, but then he shows Toxic, and I'm like, oh, well, my Golem is kind of in trouble here, but I just take this turn to set up my Stealth Rocks, because, Stealth Rocks are the essential essence of any Pokemon battle, so when he gets that left, he's continuing to go, and I believe this is where the point where he starts to spam Air Slashes, and he does. So he goes for the Air Slash, and Pidgeot has an okay special attack stat, but it's not the greatest, so I'm going to take that pretty well. But I go for the Stone Edge, and I miss, because, Stone Miss is Stone Miss, so, bleh. But anyway, we exchanged some leftovers, recovery, and he just, I don't know, he could have switched out at really any point here, just to, but he has those 2 electrical Pokemon on his team, which kind of hinder him here, because my Golem, of course, walls them both, but I want Golem to take down Pidgeot, because I don't really want anything taking an Air Slash and the switch in. So this turn he gets a Hax, which of course is 30% chance, and his Pidgeot's getting relatively healthier and healthier. I don't know what the defensive build on this Pidgeot is, but I'm getting more concerned that when my Stone Edge actually does hit, it won't kill from that range. So as I'm getting weaker and weaker due to the Toxic, as this Tailwind goes out, and he takes this opportunity to again set it up, which of course doubles the speed of all party Pokemon doubles the speed for 4 turns. And after that, I finally get my Stone Edge to hit, and from that range, it actually does kill, which kind of doesn't surprise me. It's because I am actually a max attack Golem, just with leftovers, as opposed to, some Golems have a more defensive build, but I'm actually max HP, max attack, so that should usually kill most Pidgeots that are not completely physically bulky. But out comes back out the Scarfed Vanilluxe, and I could have gone for the Sucker Punch here, because I do have it on Golem, but I'm like, he might, lock himself into light screen again. So I decided to stay in, just hopefully go for the kill, but he just finishes me off with a Flash Cannon. So down goes my Golem, my one big resist to both electrical types. So I'm somewhat concerned, but not really, because it's a Pikachu and a Minun. I mean, I shouldn't be overly concerned. I bring in my Samurott here, and I completely forgot he had this Jump Bluff, so I set up a Sword Stance thinking I can do some work of Samurott. So my Samurott sets up +2, but then I'm like, oh, I may have to switch out here because, it could threaten me with a Seed Bomb or whatever. But I just decide, after he gets his leftover game, just because he's probably going to go for the Sleep Powder, I wanted to have something as fodder. And since he has this Jump Bluff and 2 other electrical types that possess a major threat to Samurott, I just decided to leave Samurott in his Sleep Fodder. So down goes, Samurott falls asleep, and his Jump Bluff gets more HP. I got to switch out here because I just don't want, I don't want him to get back to full health anytime soon, as the Tailwind finally peters out. So I switch out Samurott and go into my Typhlosion again. And I'm anticipating a Leech Seed, most likely, just because that's what Jumpluffs do. They have substitute. They sometimes have the Leech Seed and the Sleep Powder, which makes Jumpluff ever so annoying. Now he has that dual recovery in the form of Leftovers and Leech Seed, which is definitely going to be an annoyance if I can't take this thing out sooner. Now, I'm guessing at this point he did not realize that I was a Scarf Typhlosion. His Jumpluff naturally outspeeds Typhlosion, base 110 to 100, but I go for that Stab Eruption. Even though I'm not at full health anymore, I'm still at a very healthy amount, or Eruption is still going to have an incredibly high base power. And, of course, that's Stab coming off Typhlosion's max special attack, and that is just going to wreck Jumpluff upside down. So down goes the Jumpluff finally. So my Samurott is okay, somewhat, but I don't want it to switch in on this Minun, which, I don't know what really to expect. I'm probably anticipating Thunder Wave, just the way he brought it in. He probably wants to slow down my Typhlosion, so I do predict that, and I go into my slowest Pokemon, which is my Bouffalant. And Bouffalant, I have two Bouffalants, and one of them has Sap Sipper. This one had the Sap Sipper ability, I could have switched that in on Jumpluff, but this is my Reckless Bouffalant, so I couldn't really do that, because I didn't want Bouffalant to fall asleep. So instead it gets paralyzed, and he goes for the Volt Switch just to get some more scouting going, to see what I'm going to do. He brings out his Vanilluxe more over for Death Otter than anything else, because it doesn't have much use. He can do some damage to me if I get the Parahacks, but I don't, and I go for my Choice Banded, Reckless Boosted, Stab Boosted Head Charge, and that is just going to completely obliterate the finish off the Vanilluxe. Useless crit is useless, and down it goes. So, and now he's going to bring in, I believe, he brings out back his Minun, which again takes some Stealth Rock damage, and I'm anticipating this is probably like a more defensive Minun, but then, there's Night Days, so guess what that means? That's a Zoroark hitting me with Night Days. That's the only Pokemon that gets it. He reveals to me it's a Life Orb Zoroark, but I just take that out, clean out of that powerful Head Charge. He was hoping probably to kill me the Night Days. He probably didn't. If he had Focus Blast, he probably didn't want to risk it missing. That's my only guess, because Focus Blast probably would have killed Bouffalant from that range. But I'm at a pretty low amount of health here. I'm probably not going to take any other hit this Pikachu has to offer. But Stealth Rock hits the Pikachu a little bit as he goes for Quick Attack, which really surprised me because I don't die. Because Bouffalant is very naturally bulky, and I go for that Head Charge, and of course Pikachu, with incredibly abysmal defenses, will go down. But Pikachu is actually a viable threat thanks to the item, the Light Ball, which actually doubles its attack and special attack, which makes it a viable threat, but still not overly just not overly a good choice overall, just because it's very poor speed. It's got, base 90 speed isn't bad, but it just can't outspeed a lot of big threats, so that's why it's not used much. But its last Pokemon is the Minun, and I just bring in my Typhlosion, hit that powerful Eruption attack. And even though Minun is okay, natural special defense, it will not be able to take that hit, and down it goes. And folks, that will be the game. So, great game. And as you can tell, this is a much better quality. I actually got a new cell phone, and it's providing pretty good quality videos. So, hopefully, if I can ever get good Wi-Fi, I'll hopefully upload it much more. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good night, guys. See you later.